everybody. Welcome to episode,
13?
I don't know what episode we're on
12
here.
or 13?
12 or
I wrote
13.
12 last week, so I think I'm right. I think it's 13 this week.
I think you're right. Well, welcome to SOS episode 13. As you can see, it's a slapdash effort over here. Me trying to slap together an overlay that was working. For the things that were said, just like, of course, technical difficulties every time Dot is gone. But we're good. We're going. You might notice a particular familiar, screenshot. We'll be worrying about who she's playing later on. But Maggie, I'm so happy to have you back. Welcome back to
I'm so excited
the show.
to be here. I believe you guys are on episode 12,
Oh.
according to my
Right.
VODs that I upload.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
episode 12. Well, I think you're
Oh.
down one, aren't you? Last
yeah.
week's? I think you're back one from
Oh.
last week because I think there was like an
Yes.
issue
There's
with
a missing episode.
there's a missing VOD for last week. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
they'll be
then that
getting
makes
double.
sense.
They'll be getting a double whack soon enough.
Right.
Yeah. But it's great to have you back. The last time we've seen you, I mean, you've played.
Well, special number 13 I'm honored.
Is
It's
that
honestly,
unlucky
it's
or
actually
unlucky?
like the perfect episode to have what we plan on doing for
concerned.
this episode. Man, we haven't played together VTM now with Maggie anyway for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
So, too long.
Too long, I
I'm
think, is the answer.
crying.
Yeah, too long is the answer. We obviously your career started with Cammy and Boss, who's still out there. Boss made a bit of
Our
a
girl
cameo
Boss, she did.
in the party that the Loud Ones had at their movie theater. They didn't have any conversation with her. They only got glanced eyes on her. But I'm excited to see what you're going to be bringing to the table today, as it should be quite exciting and long overdue for myriad of reasons. That being said, Tracy, do us all a favor. Quickly
Yeah.
recap us last week.
Sure thing. By the way, checking my notes, the last time we met Boss was January 2021.
Woo! Oh,
So
damn.
that was the last time Maggie was
And that was
in
the party at
SOS.
her
So
at her
long
place,
ago.
right? With the drugs
Yeah,
at the
that-
bottom and the peace and love at
We
top,
had-
right?
Yeah,
We had a good time.
party. We met Boss at a party,
Yep.
and then she invited us to her place. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, hit us with
Anyway.
what happened last week.
Last week, the full coterie was together. Dakota, Ollie, and Ava. Ava and Dakota promised Ollie to check on Haley. We went to her apartment, and she was not doing great. She was passed out basically from drinking. But we were able to kind of bring her back to life after that.
She wasn't dead. She was just in a very bad place
Yeah,
with
no.
alcohol.
She was really, really out of it. But we helped her. Dakota stayed with her throughout the day,
Yeah.
and as a matter of fact, like stayed awake for a good portion of the day to take care of Haley during that time. It seemed like she was ready to leave. Honestly, she was ready to leave, and we spoke to her with Ollie. We gave him a call, and we all spoke. And she kind of has a choice that she has to do right now if she really wants to leave. We kind of told her, like, she's like, "Will I be safe if I leave? Will I not be safe?" So she has some stuff that she still has to figure out if she wants to leave or stay, or really just have a life in Chicago without us. That's even an option. So then we all reconvened at the bar. Ollie was really hungry and not in a great mood. Dakota was not in a great mood because she didn't get to sleep during the day. So the two of them went and did their thing, hunted, and blew up some steam with karate. And so Ava was met with a Needles, who was awoken from his torpor. And Ollie came back. We talked with Needles, tried to calm him down a bit, but he is really not doing great after all the stuff with Layla. So, but overall, we tried to calm him down. And then, of course, the last scene that we had was Ollie meeting with Jules and having a conversation with her about really like starting over again.
Really, yeah.
And
I think the party or the coterie learned really Ollie's touchstone
yeah
that he had
yeah.
been visiting every couple times a
Yep.
week for trash and stuff for years.
Yep. And finally got to confront that again. And I think at the end of the conversation, it did better than the first time. So now Ollie has to deal with his touch tone.
Is that where we left
knowing
off?
He's alive.
The end of that
And
conversation.
that's we left
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
that
yeah. That's
conversation. It was
fantastic.
really good.
Perfect. Well, I think, yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'm pretty much ready to dive back right into it. So before we do that, we've got to do our usual shill. Hey, if you guys enjoy this show and want to support SOS specifically, dropping subscriptions and stuff on the Twitch, that all goes to getting art and paying our cast and all that good stuff for SOS specifically. It's because of Roll For It. We even get to bring you this third season, and without Roll For It, we wouldn't have Maggie here taking reign of a particular character that I'm very excited for. And if you guys missed the VOD here or missed the live stream, if you're a sub, you can watch the VOD right away. But if you don't have the money, don't stress. You can support us just by going over to youtube.com/rollforit, where you can watch all the VODs for free after a few days. And if you just catch the stream and you're wondering what this is, well, all 3 seasons are over there. So you can just go binge them like 3 TV series that last way longer than most TV series, especially season 2. However, I think that's everything. If you just want to support us in general, obviously patreon.com/podbynight for all of our other endeavors. And check out all the Pod by Night podcasts out there on YouTube, here on Twitch, and of course on all your podcasting apps. And just spreading the word and letting people know is the best way to keep this show pushing forward. So I think that's good. I'm just ready to jump back in. Did I miss anything? Does anybody, do I need to mention anything? Are we good? We're good. Okay, fantastic. With that said, then, let's set the scene, rein things in, and see what our coterie is up to. We pick back up mere moments after we left off last week, but instead of sitting outside a familiar-looking suburban home surrounded by other people's homes, a barber shop down in a brick building just a few steps below the first floor, and another myriad of things that we were seeing on the last episode, instead our vision comes to not too far away from the Lights Out pub, with the familiar clacking of heels on concrete, as Ava had made a decision to go visit a particular somebody. Mommy Ava has had quite a bit of work placed before her lap, and this particular individual was brought to her by none other than Nero. You've had a few conversations with her, and you've derived that she is a daughter of a wealthy family who owns a lot of the Spanish-speaking television stations here in Chicago, as well as the likelihood of her having others looking for her. A missing persons of that regard is rather dangerous and quite a masquerade threat. However, she's not been found yet, and now in your hands by the Lights Out pub with Ava. Her safety has been kept for these past few weeks. You do know that Ollie swung by and had a brief conversation with her, and now, as you stride mere feet from her door, as you approach, wits awareness.
Okay.
You're gonna have to call out your rolls because I am not catching the rolls here on camera.
Got it.
That would have taken more time, so let's just call them out.
Awareness, wits, roll.
3.
Three successes.
As you pass by, how many did we talk about how many rooms, Bub, this little house that you use has? How many people can it hold?
It's 11 small apartments. They're very small. They're like 11 by 10s.
Yeah, just like bare necessities to keep them off the
think just like a
streets safe.
dormitory, that kind of thing.
So as you pass by a couple of rooms on your left and your right, you actually do hear voices, muffled, someone speaking. And as you stride closer and your steps slow, you do realize it is Celia's voice coming from the other side of her apartment door. The question is, do you wait? Do you knock? Do you eavesdrop? What do you do?
I'm eavesdropping for
So
sure.
do you press up against the door? Tell me how. As paint the picture for me as Ava's striding elegantly past these. What I imagine is a very simple brick building with doors that just lead to, like Bub said, very small individual rooms with numbers on them, very haphazardly. How do we see Ava approach the door, and what does she do to eavesdrop?
She, I think she kind of walks her heels, probably not make it not so subtle, but as she hears talking, she tries to be a bit more subtle. And she was about to raise her wrist to knock, but then she just takes a moment and she listens. Unfortunately, I don't have heightened senses or anything, but I'll just kind of take a listen.
You may wits awareness, wits awareness me one more time, but you may obviously take a +1 for kind of taking your time and pressing your ear up against the door. And because you're so close, the difficulty is going to be pretty low.
Let's see what we got. 3 successes again.
With 3 successes, you press your ear up against the door, and as you do so, it's as though she heard you. You maybe even worry that she heard your heels or perhaps your ear press against the door. But after about 5 or so seconds of odd silence, you actually hear her speak again. The issue is, while you can pick up little bits here and there, altogether is meaningless. Not because she's speaking nonsense, but because she's clearly speaking very, very quietly. And while you can hear her voice, the tone has shifted. It was louder when you were approaching the door, but now is undertones, a hushed talk. You can pick up a bit, but the details are not able to be heard.
And it sounds like she's like on the phone with somebody, right? Like it's not.
That'd
like
be
there's somebody else
Ava's
in
best. That would be Ava's like probably her best comparison if she was to make one.
Okay. I'll take another moment to try to listen because she probably is aware that somebody's. But if I can't hear the conversation, I might just go in. But I'll take another moment to listen. Continue to listen.
Absolutely. If you just take another moment to listen, again, it's as though the silence sort of falls, and you're not sure if she's going to say anything again or not. Do you just barge in at that point, or do you wait to see? How long would you wait?
I'll wait a minute or two. Honestly, I don't want to be too nosy, and then I will just knock on the door.
Okay. At that point, after you wait a little bit and maybe try, you decide it's better not to be caught by somebody coming out of these other rooms. And so a light, rapid knock at the front door. There's a few brief moments before you hear her voice kind of grumble the other side. If it's you again, I appreciate you knocking, I guess.
It's thankfully not.
Oh,
it's me.
Oh, okay. Come in. Come in.
I
should have guessed. As you open the door, she's like, I should have guessed a woman wouldn't be busting into another woman's room.
Yeah. I'm.
And I understand the situation here, but why are the locks on the outside?
It's just in case something happens. I don't know. It's his place, not mine. So. Sorry, I would get you something better if I knew I could keep you safe, but I know that this place will at least be safe for you. So I wish it was better.
She rolls her eyes before she's been sitting on the very simple twin bed with the plain white sheets and a gray comforter over the top. And she stands up and walks over to one of her, really her only travel bag, and ruffles inside of it for a minute. And she pulls out what seems to be a packet of gum. And she just pops out a gum and she offers you a piece.
I will not. I will decline.
It won't make you puke though. It won't. But it is gum.
Sure,
yeah, but... yeah. You just can't swallow it. It'll taste like. I mean, you're just a kindred though. That's just the cost.
I will politely decline.
And she shrugs and kind of tosses it in the bag nonchalantly over to her right hand side. So I don't know if you talked to the big guy, but apparently I owe rent. So if you would like to help me out.
Yeah, he told me about that.
Is there anywhere else you could take me that doesn't require rent? I'm not a drug addict.
I know, and I apologize for that. I think he's just trying to get you
control the situation. I understand.
Yeah, actually, that's a good way to put it.
He's an easy read. She smiles.
Are you good at reading people?
Only the ones that are that obvious. He dresses above his station.
Oh, it's interesting that you noticed that. But I'm sure you can see right through me then, right?
You're like everybody else my parents used to run around with.
Of course.
What do you... I'm sure small talk is exactly the reason you came, but who knows? I might have plans later. Is there something you needed from me?
You have plans. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not 12 years old.
Yes, I did hear you talking to somebody earlier as I was walking in.
So you just as you kind of just
I'm just gonna
you just throw that out there. Yeah,
yeah.
Make me a wits insight real quick.
Oh.
Love that noise. Oh.
Oh shit. Okay, I got one success.
Your call if you think this is worth a willpower. What's your willpower at right now? Make sure you guys refill it. The lowest of the two, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, I have 4 willpower.
You're running low for sure.
Yeah. No, I will not reroll.
She just kind of she just shrugs. Yeah, am I not allowed to have a phone?
I would advise against it, honestly. You are being you're still kind of off the grid for a while.
Oh, I mean, it's not.
So-
I'm not stupid. It's not the phone I got from. It's not my old phone. It's an.
Yeah, I know you. Look, I know you're not stupid. I know you're smart. I could tell from the minute I met you, you're a smart kid. But that doesn't exclude you from like the shit we have to deal with.
She rolls her
now.
eyes at that. All right, whatever. It's the least I can do, I guess. And she reaches
Who
into
do
her
you-
bag, pulls out like an old flip phone, kind of gently tosses it on the ground and lifts up her foot and just stomps on it as plastic parts scatter. She looks to you and just
I love
shrugs.
her.
Better.
So good. Yes, better. Thank you. Okay. Well, I have a lot of questions. I'm not going to pry on your personal life. I know we're still kind of like getting to know each other. I do want to keep you safe, so I do very strongly advise that you lay low. But again, I can't tell you what to do. But I just wanted to check on you and make sure you're okay. And yes, I understand that. I understand Ollie asked you to get a job and pay rent, and he means well in this, and I do think that it is something you could consider doing. But for now, if you want, I hand her money. For now, because I know you have a
She
lot.
without
that
a second
you-
without
going
a
on.
second doubt, she reaches forward and grabs the wad of 20s. I imagine you're handing her.
Yeah.
How much are you handing her?
Like $500.
She counts through it, and you see both of her eyebrows raised. Well, this will get me through the first month, I guess.
Yeah. I think you still need some time to get your shit figured out. So, but I do think you should eventually think about like where your place is and everything, and what you need to do.
Lay it straight with me then, sister. How involved are you actually trying to get in here? Or are you just doing this because you want to suck Nero's dick?
Girl!
You don't seem, correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem half interested. You're telling me things he already kind of told me, and you're giving me money kind of to keep me out of your friend's hair. And you told me you were eavesdropping. So what are your actual intentions? Because we can make this work. I'm not arguing with you, but what do you actually want out of this? Because you don't know me. You don't know who my intentions. Hell, do you even know? No, you know what clan I am, so that's fine. But how much do you truly give a shit?
Ava, for a moment, her eyebrows raised in like a stunned how brash and bold this little kindred is, but she smiles because again, she kind of likes it. All right. If you want it straight, then I will give it to you straight. This doesn't have to do with Nero and my relationship. This has to do strictly with you and yes, your clan. I'm trying to get more familiar with your clan because I've gotten involved with them in one way or another. And I think you might be able to help in that. So I know you're new to this life. I think I have somebody who's also in your clan that might be able to help us figure some of this shit out. The whole shadow thing that we dealt with the last time we were together, I kind of want to explore more of that.
Yeah, it was from my understanding that it's whatever it is I became that has attachments to such weird shit. But why do you give a damn? You're, pardon me for over gross simplification, but you're just one of the pretty ones, right? That's what you guys do. You walk in, you be pretty, and people magically crumble.
You know, for a while I thought that is what I was. But that apparently I wasn't always supposed to be that. I was supposed to be more like you.
Is that something that's like determined when you're born, or just somebody
just does it? They turn you, and whatever their clan was, that's what you become. And apparently at one point in time I was supposed to be a Lasombra.
Well, judging how you look, let me just say you got the better end of the deal. At least you can look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that you can't.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to it. Makes staying out of my parents' eyes a little easier, though. Seems security's a little harder to pick me up, too.
Yeah.
So you want to know more about the thing?
The voice.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Doesn't happen all the time. Hell, it doesn't happen very often at all.
That's good. I have some things that happen to me sometimes, like kind of what I did last time we were together. And it doesn't really happen that often either. So I don't know. Maybe we can figure it out together.
Wits, give me another wits insight at this moment. Wow. Wow.
Oh no.
Oh, that's rough. Holy crap. You could re-roll 3 with a willpower, but that will bring your willpower to 3.
I kind of want to, actually.
Your call. Go for it. Your call.
This is my girl. I'm gonna try to re-roll 3.
Give me 3 more. That is unfortunate. Okay, 2 successes.
2. Okay.
It's not what I'm looking for. You're short by 1. I'm willing to offer you a messy success. A partial success. It is, you will still have the outcome of what a full success would be, but not cleanly and not by what you would expect. Your call, yes or no?
When am I ever? Let's do it. I'll take it.
You are watching her speak, and there's a few moments, not very often, but there's a few moments where her eyes break from yours, and most of the time they're darting to the ground, to the door, to the wall. But the moments I'm speaking of stick out even from those, as she seems to gaze over your shoulder a couple of times. And not gaze, it's more of a momentary glance. But as she does so, you hear in your ears, or is it your mind, a simple whisper. She knows. She knows, for whoever could not hear that.
As I see her kind of...
She continues talking, does not seem to clearly hear, and finishes, you know, and as far as I understand it, I can, like, maybe manipulate or move shadows. Nero is doing his best to describe it to me, and I don't know about you, but that man does not speak normal English.
She momentarily... Ava was listening, but you could tell she was a little distracted. She nods.
She doesn't pick up on that at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, as you nod, and she seems like you're just kind of nodding along, she goes, well, if you want to introduce me to this person that can help both of us, I mean, I'm game, but you're going to have to pay my rent for me.
All right.
I'm your problem. You said you could take care of me, so take care of me. I wouldn't agreed if I had to pay rent to some fucking sewer-dwelling, like, suit man. There's something about them, though, isn't there? Like, right? Like, what his kind, the Nosfers?
Nosferatu.
Them. They're just like...
They...
Even when they don't smell, it's like, kind of feels like they smell. Like, just being around them is...
Just...
Off-putting. Off-putting. I just feel like I'm being watched and listened to at all times, even though...
You probably are.
Well, fantastic. Okay, so it's not just me, like, they make people feel weird being around them?
I think, unfortunately for me, it always is. Thus is...
Oh, yeah, you're part of his team. I forgot.
But he is very helpful, and I hope that eventually you will learn to like him as well. He's kind of laying it on a little hard or a little rough to start, but
she shrugs. I don't need to like someone to trust someone,
I guess.
Well, I actually do have plans, so thanks for swinging by, Ava, and...
Before I go, Celia, there's something else I need to ask you.
Does everything that come out of your mouth sounds like you're just, like, delivering the bad guy's final speech, or is that just a Toreador thing? There's something I need to tell you.
Did something catch your eye when I walked in? I saw your eyes darting.
You may give me a wits insight again on this. I make a roll.
Come on, girl. Oh, that's much better.
3?
Three successes.
She shrugs. Nothing super specific. I thought I saw somebody else behind you, but and when she says that, and you watch her again, if Ava is her tool set, her weapon kit is social cues. And while you watch her, and there is a confidence that most people wouldn't notice, there's a slight twitch just in her upper left eyebrow that you pick up. You're not entirely sure she's telling you the whole truth, but not many people have a nervous twitch when they answering questions.
Celia.
Ava.
I've been very nice to you.
Are you about to proclaim your love for me? Because if the answer's, I'm going to go with no. Just not your type.
You know my kind can be very dangerous as well, right? And I don't want to have to use any of my disciplines on you.
Isn't that against the rules?
Well, nobody's here to see.
Wait a minute, are you threatening me?
I've been nice to you, and you're lying to me.
And we see Ava, as she says that, take a step forward. And it's though she grows an entire foot as the camera sinks and she blocks the doorway entirely. The way she stands and her dress hugs her curves demands, rather emanates elegance, also demands respect. She takes a half step backward. What the fuck are you talking about? What is wrong with you? Are you using any of your abilities? And if so, just let me know. Let me know when, if you want to. And you're welcome to make me a manipulation, intimidation check if you are trying to do so.
I am.
You feel free to rouse the blood if you want. Remember, you are a Toreador, so like lean into it.
Actually, yeah, I will. Okay, I'm at hunger 2 now.
What are you at?
2.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah. So manipulation, intimidation.
And you're gonna add +2.
Yeah.
Wait, you have blood potency too. You can re-roll that rouse check 1 time. We never do that. We never do that.
That's
we
nice
forget.
To know that you do that.
Yeah. I always forget. I just forget.
Okay.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. You're hungry. It doesn't matter. So it's fine.
Manipulation, intimidation, add.
You can thank Cammy for that BP bump.
Thanks, Cammy. Miss you.
Oh, girl. You can re-roll 3 of those, but you'd be down to 2 willpower, and that would be very dangerous.
We still got a whole session ahead of us with
Yeah.
a special guest of Maggie. I'm not. I can't. I gotta save that just in case.
Okay. So it doesn't change how awe-striking you are. It doesn't change how the word I had it and is gone. How regal you look as you step forward. However, she takes another half step back. Listen. I don't know what if you're gonna mess with my brain or whatever it is you're gonna do, but like, I'm telling you the truth. Is like, I thought.
What do you know, Celia?
Who
were you talking to earlier?
I was on the phone with my friend. I told you that already. Look, if you're gonna just do it because you have about 2 seconds before I make a run for it.
You know about this?
Are you gonna do something? Are you gonna use a discipline?
I don't want to use. I don't want to.
I know, but you're scared. So it's very clear that you are scaring the shit out of her, quite badly. And because you failed your manipulation check, she's not willing to divulge more than she's given so far. Again, I will tell you, doesn't mean she's not telling the truth when she said she thought she saw somebody, but you think there is more to it that she's not speaking. So it's not an out-and-out lie necessarily. But you can use a discipline on her. What are your choices? What are you thinking about?
I was going to use Dread Gaze on her.
Dread Gaze? What else do you got? You've got Entrancement.
Entrancement. I don't have, I just have Presence. So.
I mean, yeah, but you, yeah. Let me open your sheet here. Ava Heloise. Let's scroll down. So let's see. You're freaking out. I love it. Let's see. So you've got Entrancement. Let's peep it real quick. It's 1 hour plus. Vampire focuses. Blah blah blah. A single person. Wrapped fascination.
Oh man, there's an Oblivion power I wanted to talk about later, but I don't think of that one.
You want to type it to me right? No, not necessarily, because we have books.
I have to double check it, and it might take too much time. So it's fine. It's
no,
fine.
just type it to me then right now. Just
Okay.
type it while I read these things. We're on the stream. We're not locked to like a 45-minute thing.
It's from the new book. One moment. I gotta pull up the new book. While you look at my current abilities and see if there's something I could do on her.
Entrancement might not be bad. It doesn't say they know what happens necessarily, but failing would be bad.
One sec.
Which are you sending it on Zoom?
I was
Send
gonna
it in the
send
chat on the game chat actually, because
Yeah.
because they can't see that.
One moment. I just gotta
You're good.
pull it
All good.
up.
Chat's not gonna. They're just gonna sit there hanging by a thread waiting.
I'm sorry, chat. I don't want to look. I don't want to scare her away, but
Scare her.
I gotta find out what she knows.
Get in there, scare her. It's okay. What if she's gonna say it when
I'm
Ollie's
down
turn
for
is
you
back?
eating
What-
this kid.
No!
Honestly.
Hey,
Hey, Maggie, don't
Sa-
feed that
the-
idea.
the
That's a bad
sass
idea.
levels.
Hey, I already ate you. Okay. I'm not-
Look,
That's the
that's
thing.
why I'm just giving you ideas.
If she's gonna say that about Ollie when Ollie's not there, what do you think she says about Ava when Ava's not there?
Shadow
Sandwich.
Okay,
That's
just
what I'm thinking.
okay. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I actually don't know. I don't know if it'll be useful in this scenario, but
Let me check.
I'm screenshotting it, so I'll paste it in our chat.
Okay, you've got it. Excellent. Let me see.
Yeah.
Makes it even easier for me.
Okay.
I'm curious what you want to do.
I actually, I don't know how useful this will be. We'll see.
Well, let's see. Where are you posting it?
In our Shadows of Sybil Discord.
Oh,
chat.
Discord.
That's-
Okay, can you
or
put it
did
in the?
sorry,
Can you put it
did
in
want
the
Zoom?
Roll20 chat?
Oh, in Roll20.
Yeah, they
yes.
can't see any of the rolls happening there. So let me.
Okay, can you paste an image in Roll20?
Well then, hang on. I will.
Or I can just copy it.
Bear
copy and
with me,
paste the
chat. I'm just
text.
moving things. There we go. You should be good now. All right, Shadows of Sybil. I see.
To kind of try to intimidate her, maybe.
Oh,
a
so you
little
want to
bit.
use this as like an intimidation tactic?
Yes, an intimidation tactic.
I think it would be better for you just to use dread gaze in that way.
Okay,
This
okay,
because
okay.
while this would work for that, this isn't. It's not made for that, and I think
Okay.
dread gaze is free, which is more important.
Dread gaze is a rouse check.
Oh, is a rouse check? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
this is a rouse check, I imagine too. So dread gaze would
but-
serve the same purpose.
Okay.
If we look at dread gaze real quick,
wanna use
I know. Well, don't worry. There will
Let's
be
be
plenty.
real.
I get it. I get it. Trust me. Yeah. So if you win, yeah, you're
All right,
unable to.
I'll-
Yeah. So go ahead and make me a dread gaze. It's a rouse check.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You don't get any hungrier. You have to make a
It's
charisma, presence versus composure, resolve,
Yeah. And I think I get.
and you get to add, I imagine, your presence rating to this.
Yes, and I think.
Oh yeah, so charisma, presence, duh.
Charisma, presence. Where are you, presence? Shit.
Oh God. Can you see that? Oof.
Yeah, I see that. I see.
But she
sorry.
she won't necessarily know you used it. Vampires would just be completely unaffected.
Why is this?
What are you looking for?
Can I just roll it from the?
Oh, because you need to roll your presence. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
Just roll
yeah.
just count your pool up and roll that. And remember, you can also additionally rouse check to add 2d10 to this.
5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And if you rouse, you can add 2 more.
Yeah, 9, 10.
Okay,
All
so you're rolling a 10 die pool, double what she rolls. However, she critted, so you have a big plus 2 successes on top of it. Oh my God.
What?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes, which is you.
Better.
I mean, you don't want to use a willpower here, so it's not
Nah.
enough. So what is it? So you step forward, and we'll say this
it.
whole scene as you're stepping forward, when those words fall from your mouth initially, it's your initial intimidation matched with the rising, thickening of the blood as your beast eggs you on. tells you and demands you in this way that is purely primal to show this weaker form, true royalty, true domination, a true kindred. La Sombra in so many ways are just echoes of a Toreador anyway, wanting to be what you are but can never truly be. And as those words spill from your mouth and she stumbles back onto the bed, she raises her hands up. I swear to God, I am telling you every goddamn thing I'm not hiding anything from you. And if you're gonna fucking kill me, then I'm not gonna go down easy. And she stands up and, like, with this faux confidence, looks like she's ready to square up.
Celia, I know that there's something you're hiding from me. Tell me everything you know.
And while
I will
go ahead.
not. And or else I'm not letting you leave this room. I'm going to lock you in here. And you won't be able to see your friends or whoever you're going to see tonight. You're not going to leave this room.
Hang on, I need to check something. Very quick. This is it. She looks around for a moment, past you, next to her as they're back way out. I don't know whatever it is Ollie told you, but I am not this person. This I don't know what you think. And she takes, and as she tries to almost buy time, she darts to her left and her right before she simply snaps her right hand out with a stiff right arm, her hand and palm upturned before she clenches her fist and yanks it toward her. And in that, the shadow being cast in the next near corner from a closet, being cast by a small lamp, almost leaps from crawling across the walls and the floor like a thick viscous liquid and swallows her like a blanket. You do not see her. The shadow quickly subsides and pulls into the wall.
Oh,
Wit's
shit.
awareness very quickly.
Oh, shit. She's going shadow. All right. 2.
With 2 successes, you hear it, but by the time you hear it, it's distant. Running footsteps outside, and when you run to the door and fling it open, you see her actually stepping out from behind a lamp and then into another shadow before she is just simply running straight.
Sombra, bitch.
With Ava standing there, watching as she
Sombra.
runs and turns away, and you can no longer see her.
God damn it. Ugh.
Oh man, you got nasty with her, and I gotta be fair. Like, your rolls were rough. That's like, so, I've never seen so many ones out of you in a long time.
Oh, I am mad. Ava's pissed.
So
right
you're gonna
now.
return to the Lights Out pub then, pissed.
Yes, I am.
Within moments, you're probably helping Grant out with the last few guests before closing time rolls around. The front door swings open. Grant shouts, "Hey, beautiful, we're just about to wrap it up here. I'll get you a bottle of wine if you want after."
She doesn't even acknowledge him.
And you just storm past him through the back door. Grant looks over to you, Ollie. Everything all right? Hang on, I'm gonna try something. Nice ass!
She doesn't reply.
Oh, she didn't even yell at me. All
Oh
right.
yeah, she's mad.
Okay.
You did something.
All right. Well, good luck, buddy. Hell on earth, woman scorn, something, something.
Why is it always this way? Why?
What do you mean, why? Look at her.
Can
She's a
anybody be happy?
Toreador.
Yeah, I know. She should be happy.
I don't know, man. You guys have everything in the goddamn world, and none of you're always fucking miserable. So
Yeah, it's not wrong. That's a pretty accurate
he
perception.
gives you like a light punch on the shoulder as Ollie heads off to follow Ava to wherever she's going. Private booth? Like, where are you going? Yeah, Ava, private booth.
go.
You hear her slide into the private booth. And as Ollie rounds the corner, how are you postured? Are you like sat up with your fingers tapping on the table? Are you like finger templing, leaning forward? What does Ava look like as Ollie rounds the corner?
We don't get headaches, but I feel like Ava kind of has her hands on her temples, like her elbows on the table, and she's just like a little slouched and slumped. She's usually pretty good posture, but in this moment, she doesn't have very good posture.
Ollie? Do you say anything?
Okay. All right. It's been a long time since I've seen this posture, this pose, but my mom used to do it when we were late on rent, and she really showed how much of a mom she was then, made me do chores that I was not good at.
So is that what I have to do? I have to make her do chores. Is that really it? Like,
Ooh, Dakota? Never worked before.
no. Ollie, you're a parent. How the fuck do you deal with kids?
I am not the guy to be asking that. I don't know if you remember what happened to my last kid.
Well, I might have just lost mine. Celia, the girl.
Oh no, that's not your kid.
She's not, but I feel responsible for her.
Why? You make her?
Because no, but whoever did left her, and I need to know more about her and her clan and whatever that voice is she said was talking to her, which I'm sure it's the voice that we think it is. So,
All right, is there ever a time when you just decide that you got to put down the shovel? Because you're just digging yourself a big ass hole that you're not going to be able to get out of.
I'm already in the hole, Ollie. I'm already.
I know. Sometimes you gotta just slow it down, right? Slow it down a little bit. We're supposed to live forever or some shit, right? So you're moving quick, and what? I mean, hold on. Like, you feel responsible for her, but what about what's his name? The Saito's other one.
Nelson.
Nelson.
Shit,
What
I meant
about?
to check on him too. I've meant to bring him some food. Oh shit. I'm so bad at this, Ollie. Ugh.
Okay, all right, hold on. Just tell me what happened with Celia.
She was being a little bratty, and I honestly like that about her. I really do. I think she holds her own really well. But while I was talking to her, she was being a little dodgy, and she kept looking past me, and I heard a voice in my head tell me that she knows. And so I felt like she wasn't being truthful with me. Maybe she knows something about the shadows or whatever that she's not telling me. And I asked her, and she didn't tell me. And then I tried using some of my hoodoo voodoo, as you call it,
mommy
on her.
voice.
Yeah,
okay.
The mommy voice, the hoodoo voodoos, the things that you call it. And I got her really scared, and she ran off. She literally turned into fucking shadows and ran away. And
It checks out.
I don't know if she's gonna come back now.
All right, well, maybe she doesn't. Why is that a problem?
Because what if somebody finds her and kills her?
What if somebody finds us and kills us? Who's looking out for us? I went missing 3 weeks, and you guys barely held down the shop. And you got a manager here.
I think we did a pretty good job, but you know what?
You did do a good job.
I guess what I'm saying is, did you guys go out and look for me?
Grant certainly wanted to.
Okay.
You guys
tried.
did a lot. You spent like 3 days straight looking.
We did, and and
The thing is, as kindred, when we want to be found, we let ourselves be found. Especially with someone like, you remember my Molo, right?
Yeah.
He comes out whenever he wants, and he's always watching. Right, that's kind of the thing about those shadow steppers. They kind of weave in and out. It's La Sombra. What are you gonna do? And who knows? Maybe she does know something. Right? We're in the epicenter of Shadowville, and it's like it's about to be Woodstock for shadow people. I hate to be like so lighthearted about it, but man, we don't exactly get good sleep.
Yeah.
It's not happened for us in probably almost 2 decades at this point. Everything's shitty. So, things are bad. They're getting worse. And maybe I'm just going to throw this out there on the table. Maybe it's a bad idea to try to adopt a fledgling when we're in the middle of the big shit. But if you feel like it's that serious, I don't know. I can put some feelers out.
I guess I'll give her a couple of nights. I did I did give her money,
And why did you do that?
I feel like she still needs some time to figure things out before we just throw her into, hey, get a job, be a normal part of her kindred society, like she's
You know, I've been
Gentle
paying rent since I
parenting
was
versus aggressive parenting.
since I was 16 years old. I was paying rent.
Yeah. And would you want that for your, don't you want to give them something better than what we had?
Oh, you mean a sense of responsibility? Maybe I'm old school, but it did a lot. Did a lot for me, and it's doing a lot more for the people today. Let me guess. I'm not going to try to paint a picture here, but just tell me how close. Just go with the hot and cold. You handed her some money, she snatched it real fast, and the gratitude was just not there at all.
There was none.
Okay, that's not how hot and cold works, but I'm getting the picture. All right.
You've talked to her. She's got a lot of spunk, is a word I'll use.
She's an asshole.
Yeah, well, I think she grew up pretty
Spoiled?
Yeah, her family's in a media conglomerate, so.
Oh, that's what she meant. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, she's still an asshole.
Yeah, well, I'm an asshole too, but I've made it this far. I just.
No. Hold on. Let's not sell the work that we put in short here, okay? You may have done some shitty things and stuff that we'll never see eye to eye on, but you had to pay for it in responsibility. Let's not forget, there was one time where you were forced to, ingest a whole ass person.
Yeah.
You want to do something for her so she doesn't have to do the same thing, but she's got to realize just how tough it is and just how easy she can get it with a little bit of help. Some people got to struggle, and she's never known struggle. It's clear.
Yeah.
Let her at least flap her wings for a while before she realizes that she's been stuck in a cage. And Chicago's our own little aviary of sorts.
All the stuff that I'm doing with the shadow and all the stuff that we're doing to try to stop it. I'm not sure what is going to happen to me after all of this, but the one thing I keep thinking of is I see Celia, I see Nelson, and I just kind of want them to, after all this is done, to let them have a better life than what we had as kindred. They can actually, I don't know, not have to live in fear that there's going to be some eternal night or something. I don't know. I just want them to be okay.
Some kindred look forward to that.
Yeah.
Eternal night means we get to walk whenever we want. Eventually, it means what? The absolute decay of humanity as we know it, and humanity will die. They need sunlight, right? Like, that's some of the earliest shit they teach us in school. We need sunlight. I mean, we don't, but they do. So, I mean, it makes sense, but we just have to keep operating on this chip away mentality, right? We can't topple the beast in one fell swoop. Got to keep chipping away. And her situation's different. Nobody really leapt out to try to help us. I remember our first night taking on that first fucked up job. Remember Zach? Zach had a gun. A gun. We're vampires. I can leap like 4 buildings width. I can scale through the night. I can snap my fingers and vanish. And he had a gun. A gun. Well, we've come far.
Yeah.
But that's all we had. She's got to realize that mom and dad's money isn't going to translate over to this new lifestyle, especially if she runs. She's got to work for it. Let her get a hustle on for a little bit and sweat. Sweat never killed anybody.
As you finish that and Ava's internalizing it, you hear rapid footsteps down the stairs. Boss, hey, you down here?
Yeah.
Hey, can I? And he gives just a knock on the open door. Hey, beautiful. Sorry to interrupt. There is a big man, just a big man looking for you, Ollie. Or boss.
Like
Like I
me big?
No. Well, kinda. You big before you got. I don't know, he's like a bouncer at a bar, right? That's what I would put him at.
Okay. All right, sure. Let's Ava, take as much time as you need. Or don't. I'm not your dad. Do what you want to do.
Thanks.
Grant hustles his way up the stairs, and Ollie in tow. We can hear his heavy footsteps as our camera makes its way into the now empty dining room for the most part. The last guest paying his tab and walking out. Over by the front door, stepped over to the side as Grant described, a large man. He has got those tribal tattoos all down the side of just one side of his face, a buzz cut with a goatee, and he wears a very plain black shirt with black pants, and bouncer is probably the best way to describe him. He's just fully just a built dude that you would put in his 20s probably.
All right, well, strong silent type, I see. What's going on, man?
As
What
you
can I help
approach
with?
saying that, I'm looking for Mr. Hopkins.
Who's asking?
He just kind of he takes a moment.
You forget your name?
He takes a moment when you say that, and he goes, a potential friend.
Potential friend. All right, so what do are you the potential friend for someone else?
That's when he just reaches behind his back and
whoa.
That's what
Easy.
And
Easy.
as you're like, whoa, he slowly raises his other hand and brings out a little paper device. Ollie might know what these were called. I need to have you roll something. Let me see what I would have you roll. Ava's downstairs, or did she come up as well?
I take a minute in the booth, and I eventually will come downstairs, so I might not be.
Right. I forgot you were in the booth.
Yeah.
I would have you roll, I guess, a wits streetwise for what this the name. You recognize it. You just don't know if your character knows the name of what it is.
Okay.
It's very silly, but it works. Ava would know as soon as she walks over, probably just because she's Ava. She probably played with these a lot as a kid.
2 successes.
Oh man, they're like fortune tellers. That you think they're called? Do you think they're called fortune tellers?
It's one of these things.
Yep,
where
exactly. And as Ava comes over, it's a cootie
4.
catcher. The cootie
7.
catcher is another name.
Purple.
So as he brings it out and he holds it in his big ass hands, his big index fingers and thumbs, he holds it up forward, and on the front of it, in this multicolored piece of paper, it says, "You have been invited."
Oh my god.
He's waiting for you to choose one of the words.
You.
Y-O-U, and he opens it up horizontally, and inside there's this 4 more choices, and it says, "Where are we going?" ?
Going.
And he goes through it, G-O-I-N-G, and as he opens it up, now long ways, it's just 4 different things that each say here, 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 here.
Where's here?
Which one are you picking?
I don't know, Mr. Bad Tattoo. Which
And
one you
I'm
picking?
asking, is that okay, Ollie? Is Ollie asking like where are we going? He just looks down with a raised eyebrow. You have to choose.
Oh, dealer's choice. You surprise me.
Not allowed. You are
My
the
God.
guest. Choose.
There.
You pick one, and as you pick one, he reaches down takes one of his hands out and reaches down and pulls open the piece of paper corner, and it says an address, and underneath, her favorite playground. The address you would recognize instantly as a park, a local park.
Can I snatch it from him?
If you do so, he does not resist, and as you do,
Do they all say the same thing?
yes.
Yeah, you're a fucking joke.
After you take it, there is he will finish by saying, "In 2 hours' time, she's expecting you. Have a good night." And he turns and walks out the front door. And as the door
Oh,
swings
shit.
shut and Ollie looks over to Ava saying, "Oh shit."
Who was that?
I don't know. I'm gonna call him Mr. Bad Tattoo. because he
Okay.
had a real bad tattoo.
Oh, those were horrible. Yes.
Yeah, he was wearing jorts at that. I don't even
They're
understand.
black jorts.
Like, my bad, black jorts. I forgot how
That's what
important
they're
the color
called, yeah.
was.
Mm.
Sure, I mean, 2 hours though. I'm like,
She's waiting for us. She.
I
There's
don't know
no
what she-
name. There's no name on it at all. And there's a little bit of thinking. Ollie, you're the only one I'll have make a resolve composure check. Sorry, whatever memory is. It's intelligence resolve. Sorry.
Sure. 2 successes.
Nothing really comes to mind right away. And as you kind of hold this toy in the palm of your hand with a curious look as Grant is swinging out and taking off his dirty apron before going to hit the thing closed, said, guess leave that here. I'll throw it out for you. And he reaches over to grab it, toss it out.
Wait. Hold on to that. I gotta know what the hell this means. And that's important. Does it look like it's in his writing or someone else?
No, it's if he has writing, he has very pretty writing.
Very pretty writing. Yeah, that might be important.
Lots of
I'm gonna hold on to that.
curves, swirls.
Yeah, I might know a few kindred who can help me locate some things based off of this alone.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as there's that contemplation, knowing that the meeting is to take place in a couple of hours, and there's that thought, as Ollie openly says, he knows a few people who might be able to help, will slowly fade to black, and we'll return from break in about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll move on to the second and more potentially dangerous half. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't know how the intro... We will see how certain people react. That being said, guys, we'll be back in a little bit. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you soon.
Oh my God.
everybody, and welcome back to From the Break, SOS, episode 13. It's just about time I think we bring our guests finally on camera, so don't do it yet, Maggie, but when we meet your character.
Okay.
When we meet your
All right.
character, you know, you do it on your time. If you guys are just jumping in and are curious about what's going on, if you subscribe here at Twitch, you can actually just go back and watch the VOD at any point and catch up right then and there. Or you could just head over to youtube.com/roll for it, and in a couple of days, the entire VOD will be over there as well, and you can watch it for free over there. That's just the usual stuff, but I'm just going to dive back in because I'm very excited to see how this goes. So, without further ado, let's just rein things back in, reset the scene, and say hello to them.
Music is drowning us out.
Yep, I am moving that right now. Thank you. All right. The scene opens up with the sounds of distant, and I mean distant, cars, all muffled and brought down by the thick line of trees that exists in this rather large local park. The park itself that you are brought to is south of your bar, much closer to and into, eventually, Anarch territory. Now, that's dangerous for a variety of reasons, but most particularly, your coterie is a little infamous with the Anarchs. In fact, I believe it was a coterie flaw you ended up taking. But no one stops you, tries to kill you or stake you on your way there. In fact, you don't go very far into Anarch territory at all, just barely over the line. And as you stroll through this park, down a kind of cobblestone path with the large black lanterns that are electric but are made to look like they are modeled after the old gas ones, lights your way with a dim orange glow. You see ahead of you a single figure, 6 feet tall, another well-built individual, standing ahead, stopping or blocking the path forward from where you seem to be going. Do you stop? Do you approach?
I think part of the facade, right, is carrying this this inherent mask of confidence. So, regardless of how he feels about the situation, he's going to walk forward confidently.
And Ava, in tow, then, as confident as well, strides up to the individual who, much like the man in your bar, has a very particular build. Large, bouncer style, and instead of having a shaved head, he's just completely bald. But he has no tattoos, and he has no goatee. It's all Mr. Clean look, but with muscles. Once you get about 2 feet from him, he actually will begin to speak. One at a time, I'm going to pat you down. No weapons allowed beyond this point, and rules apply. No near vampire shit from either ends. A neutral ground for a conversation with somebody who's looking to meet with you. Do you agree?
Do me a favor, you one of us?
Not particularly.
Okay, well, until you're one of us, don't ever fucking say vampire shit in public again. That's a breach, and that's your death.
He kind of like shrugs to you a little bit. The place is secure, I assure you. Now, step forward. Who goes first?
Arms out.
Do you try to hide any weapons? Okay. He quickly
No weapons
pats.
to hide.
Yeah, I'm just making we'd have to make rolls in case you do. But he quickly pats you down, and when he's satisfied, he lets you past, and then brings Ava up. Ava is muted.
Unmuted.
Here you go.
I say, be gentle.
Ava.
He
I love
does a
it.
great job at maintaining a stoic face. Do you try to sneak anything in?
No.
Okay. He quickly pats you down as well before waving you on in. Walk straight ahead. She's waiting for you.
Fuck, we're meeting at a park.
I don't know. Why is this park so secure?
You finish walking down the cobblestone path through a small archway of overgrown bushes that hide most of what's ahead of you from sight. You see Ollie first kind of duck down and push some of the branches out of the way, with Ava just taking the opportunity to just quietly walk under them at the same opportunity. And as you stride forward, what you see before you is unassuming on most days or nights. It is a simple playground, one with a slide and a large swing set, a small jungle gym with monkey bars. But tonight, it rings eerie for a number of reasons. But most importantly, because of the person one of them, the focal one, it seems, sitting on one of those swings. Maggie, what is it that they see as they step from the brush into your playground?
You see what looks like a small child around the age of maybe 7, 8, 4 feet, 50 pounds, round that size, with short pink hair and cute little bows on each side, wearing what looks like a school uniform that is very clean. It's white and blue trimmed with a blue overall on it. And she's sitting on the swing with a giant lamb chop looking, like, cute stuffed animal. And she's swinging, and you just can hear the creaking of the swing as, like, the metals touching the wood at the top.
And who surrounds you? Many people?
You see, not very many, but around in the woods, you can kind of see some more of those, like, big bouncer-esque type of folk that are kind of just surrounding the park. So it looks like she's alone if you weren't paying attention, but because you guys have so much perception, you can kind of see around that you're not alone, you're being watched.
It doesn't take long before, at the very least, Ollie likely knows who you're speaking with. Ava, after a little bit, would likely put it together too, I think, because this has been a kindred of conversation over the years,
Yes.
on and off.
Yes.
So it doesn't take long. It's a very distinct individual, of course. And as Maggie points out, you are outnumbered by quite a bit. When that bouncer seemed to say this place was secure, he meant it. If she wanted you dead, you'd be dead already. Who says something first, or is there a simple tense silence that lingers after we see Ollie and then Ava emerge, standing upright and taking in what's before you?
I think she would allow them to say something, but if they don't, she will definitely say something. So I don't know if you...
Up to the other two. Do you want her to speak first then, or does somebody say something?
Little late for kids in the playground, don't you think?
Well, not for me. Oh, God.
Oh, I missed Emmy. For those who know Emmy, it's the character. It's not the same Emmy from the same universe. Consider this and I don't know how you can, but the dark version of that character. The very dark version.
Well, you sent a goon into my bar.
He didn't do anything. He didn't mean any harm. Did you get my cootie catcher?
Yeah, I got it.
This is so fun. I drew it myself. I even
I could
colored
tell.
all of the little shapes.
Well, I didn't think it was Mr. Bad Tattoo. He didn't really strike me as the kind for swirlies and flowers.
He's actually really good at coloring, and he even stays within the lines.
Well, do you?
I try to, but sometimes it just gets so frustrating. It stresses me out, and then I just scribble everywhere.
Yeah, and you make a mess too, don't you?
Well, I don't try to, but sometimes I do. You know, you just want to play with all your toys, and then you can't put them all away because there's too many.
Yeah.
The camera during this very, very rarely cuts away from Ava or Ollie. Occasionally we get a glimpse at Emmy, the would-be child queen. But now it's more the reactions. And while Ollie, I imagine, maintains a very stoic stance and gesture amongst his words, Ava could do the same, but I'm curious if she is, because Tracy is not. So I need to figure out where we're at.
I think
You all
Ava's-
obviously know child kindred are worthy of death. They are to be almost always. I mean, in your 20 years of being a kindred, you've never seen a child embraced, ever. The youngest you've seen is Damien. That's
gonna
even
say,
technically
yeah.
illegal for how old he was. He's too young. But, you know, people pull strings sometimes.
Oh, Damien, he's so hot.
He is.
It's like the Emmy says that randomly.
Yeah.
No.
I look. Ava looks pretty stunned by this. Like you said, I just seeing, she's heard the stories, but she's seeing it in person is pretty horrifying, honestly, even for Ava. So she just kind of doesn't say, she lets Ollie do the talking for now and just is very stunned and doesn't do anything in the moment.
The way Emmy speaks to any layperson sounds just like a child of her age.
Yeah.
What's scary is simply how she replies to such questions you ask. There's clearly an understanding, and in most cases, you might even assume Malkavian.
What do you want, Emmy?
Well, I want a lot of things. I'm sure you want a lot of things too. But why don't you come sit on the swings with me?
And she pats the swings. There's two, one on her left and one on her right, that are both gently swaying in the night breeze to match the creaking that hers gives off as her feet don't even reach the ground.
She like kicks her feet up and moves it back to start swinging a little more.
My life's been kind of swinging for a while, so forgive me if I don't immediately sit down on a swing.
It's kind of fun though. Don't you like swinging? Or do you not like it now that you're all big?
I like having a choice.
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to. You can stand there and be grumpy.
It's easy to be grumpy. Every time I allow myself an opportunity to smile, Emmy, something really bad jumps up and bites me in the ass, ruins my evening.
Well, I wouldn't want something to bite me in the butt either. What bit you in the butt? Was it a dog?
No, it was a kindred, Emmy.
Oh, that's a weird place for someone to bite you. Did you have your pants down?
No, Emmy. There's a noticeable exhale, even though he's not reading this.
It's that I mean, you have maybe 20 years of kindred, but there's some things that you lived with for much longer as muscle memory, and a sigh of exasperation is something that everybody knows instinctually.
Look, why don't I let me just push you.
All right.
You swing and tell me what this is about.
What about you?
I'll swing next to you. Yeah.
Yay!
Which side do you take, her left or her right?
Her right.
Okay. You sit yourself gently in the swing, and certainly your feet reach the ground, but you can still swing rather easily. It would be difficult seeing Ollie sit in one of these things. I'm not sure he'd be able to get off the ground without the set itself creaking up and out of its ground. However, as you step behind her and place your hands gently on her back and perhaps begin swinging, you notably, as they don't do it very silently, notice the crew that has been standing guard in the woods move closer now that you're within, well, not within, you are touching distance at this point. They don't pull guns, they don't look aggressive, they simply move their proximity closer to you. You gently push Emmy and the swing creaks a little louder, and Ava sits with, do you swing or do you simply sit and like cross your legs?
I just sit for now.
I want to walk up to the front of them, in between them, and I say, I used to do this with my boy. He looks to both of them, legs out.
All right.
Puts her legs out, and then
Is
when
there like a look of giddiness on Emmy's face,
Yeah.
of excitement?
She looks excited.
And he does the same, like extending that arm out to Ava to see if she'll just kind of take it.
Yeah.
And Ollie will just back up, start pulling them up, and then just let like the natural momentum kind of carry them into their swing before he starts walking to the rear side.
God.
And it begins. And Ava, when was the last time Ava was on a swing set?
God.
Exactly.
Me and Zach probably years ago as kids.
Yeah. And this may even bring up weird, nostalgic memories of your childhood. But beyond that, I imagine the just swinging goes on for just a little while. I'm not saying like 15 minutes, but maybe for like a minute or two. There's just the enjoyment, the giggles that come out of Emmy that sound natural, like she's truly enjoying herself. And that lingers until somebody breaks the silence.
I don't know. We haven't had the pleasure of meeting. I'm Ava.
I know who you are. But you're much prettier in person.
Oh, thanks. I love your hair and your bows. They're very cute.
Oh, thanks. A Tremere helped me out.
Yeah, perhaps it does catch you by surprise hearing her say that in such an 8-year-old simply say Tremere.
Yeah, it's weird. This is very unsettling. Ava thinks to herself. So do you leave this playground, or is this like where you are all the time? Is this like
Well,
your domain?
sometimes I stay with my mom and dad.
Mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
You have a mom and dad?
Well, kinda.
Who are they? Are they like actually your mom and dad, or like an adopted thing?
Well, I think they would have adopted me if I gave them a choice. Look,
Oh.
I kind of followed them a little while, and they really did want kids, and they couldn't have them, so I just let them pretend that I'm their kid.
Are they kindred also, or are they something else? Are they kind? Are they
I kind of ghouled them.
Oh,
But they were okay with it, and they like having me around.
you seem to have a lot of ghouls. I look around the perimeter. Are
Not-
those also your ghouls?
It would be, I would think Ava and Ollie would also understand that it's very likely these are not all ghouls.
Okay.
This wouldn't, she'd have to be ancient to have
Yeah.
this many all be
I was
ghouls.
like, you have a lot of friends surrounding the area.
Well, I'm really small, and I'm sure you know there's not a lot of people like me.
No, there's not. You're...
So I need some extra protection.
I see.
How does Ollie look as this conversation is continuing?
Ollie's counting the men around. He's figuring out
You get a clear
The
count of
things-
9.
9, all roughly my size.
Varying. They're not all clones of each other, so to speak, but even for you, you would have a hard time. Even if 2 of them are ghouls and the rest are mortals that are either being paid or whatever, it still would be a lot of blood, and even if you got away, it would leave a scene.
But if you want to know about my real mom and dad, well, that's different.
Happened to them.
Well, it's kind of sad. Are you sure you want to hear a sad story when we're in like such a cute little park with swings that we can swing on? Maybe you should have Ollie push you. He's a really good pusher.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I hear lots of sad stories, unfortunately. It's kind of the line of business. So I'm sure whatever story you have isn't the worst I've heard.
Well, it was a really, really long time ago. And when we were just going to the grocery store. It was like a general store. I guess you guys call them more grocery stores here, like a market. But for us, it was really far, and we had to cross a river to get there. And sometimes it would take a long time. But something happened to our carriage, and then it fell over. I don't remember what happened exactly. And when I turned around, they were all gone. the cart fell on them, and one of the horses ran over my dad. I tried to shake them, but they weren't moving. And then there was this man, and I couldn't really move because my leg was stuck. But he helped me, and it healed really fast.
Wow. And I guess that's how you're here today.
Yeah, I guess. Wish that he was still here. He tried to protect me, but I guess they didn't like what he did.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Apparently, they don't like when people turn little kids. But what was he
Yeah.
supposed to do? Just let me die? Maybe he should have just let me die.
Well,
Then I wouldn't be stuck like this forever.
you seem to be making a lot of friends despite that.
But I only get to keep them for a small time. Because people start wondering about why there's a little kid who never ages. And then I have to try to find a new home and a new place to live.
Yeah. I look back to Ollie, and I'm just like...
And the camera, as we see you like dart your eyes over, the camera in turn like quickly turns to Ollie's face.
Ollie's just shaking his head.
Is it a shaking of head in disgust, in disbelief, in
Somewhere
dismissal?
between yes and no. It's all of the above.
Certainly.
Hey, Emmy, why don't you tell Ava here about how you're basically my grandma?
I guess when you think about my age, I'm probably more than your grandma.
I meant with how you ghouled my mom.
Oh, look.
Emmy will jump off the swing. You know how like when you like get to a high point and you like jump?
And
she's
all
just
the
like-
time.
She tries to like hold in her excitement of how high she gets to jump from this because normally when she swings, she can't get this high as like Ollie's able to push her. And she jumps down and lands and then turns around and has like a really serious look on her face and looks up at you and says,
It was just business. It wasn't anything personal. I'm so sorry.
You know what happened to her?
she squeezes her lamb chop.
Yeah.
You know, my dad hit her. He killed her. He
Shut
shoved her out a
the
window and she
window.
died. Yeah.
And you say it in sync, just like that. Shoved her out a window. You both said the same thing at the same time.
You could have stepped in at any point.
I wasn't there. Look. Her husband was a rival to the Ventral Board, and I had to keep my eye on him. And you know how that works. I wasn't expecting them to fall in love and have a kid. But they did. And who was I to stop them from finding love? I mean, if there's a potential that someone could have a kid because they love each other, I would want them to have that. Wouldn't you?
Emmy, they should have told you what happens when ghouls have kids. You didn't think for a moment that the vampire blood in his body and in her body would do something weird to the baby?
I guess. I mean, I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but now you bring it up.
Well, you may have been turned at a really young age, but I was basically adopted into this life before I was even born. They have a term. Did you know they have a term for it? Nobody wants to talk about it ever. It's called a revenant.
And that word does ring a bell with Emmy. It's very nebulous and vague. It doesn't happen often. Last time anybody thinks a revenant was actually walking the streets is a time even before you. Sure, They're rumors how they come to pass. Sometimes it is the melding of two kindred blood, maybe even by child. Sometimes it's rituals, or it's all nebulous and rumors and old vampire voodoo.
None of the Tremere want to talk to me about it. I get weird looks every time I go to the Chantry. My son was a spitting image of me. He had a lot of the same things going on for him. And man, when those SI, when they got a hold of him, and I finally got to talk to him, they said that he was something different. That he wasn't cut from the same cloth as everyone else.
But sometimes being special is cool. I mean, that means you're just as rare as I am.
Not when you don't get any agency of choice.
Well, I didn't really have a choice either.
But you didn't like that, did you?
I don't know. I don't really remember the last time I thought about it.
You make decisions now, right?
Well, sometimes I try to. But the things that I want to do, I can't always do. There's
Well,
all these rules.
Who do you answer to then? Who watches you and, paddles your behind when you step out of line?
Well, my mom and dad.
These are ghouls you're talking about?
Yeah. They make me put my toys away. And make my bed.
They actually act as your parents, even though they're your ghouls.
Well, yeah. I want them to live out their dream. They just want a little kid. And if I can give that to them for a little bit, why not? And it gives me cover.
It doesn't get old to you. Having to. You can be whatever you want just because you're a child. You don't have to.
She doesn't get to grow up, Ava. You remember the Peter Pan tale with Lost Boys? How they never grow up?
I guess so.
That's why they tell us that we're not supposed to sire kids. Because they never grow up.
Ava's like having a hard time, like, really conceptualizing that.
It's a lot to take in. You can hear stories about things, but even like when you returned simply to kindred, stories of vampires existed, but nothing meets the reality. And now you're looking at this disturbing reality.
Yeah.
And the reason, I imagine, you kind of understand now why.
Yeah.
This is not allowed.
Yeah.
The torture, the mindset. It's impossible to know what living for such a long time without a mind or brain that can truly adult or change no matter how much experience you have. It doesn't mean that you don't become mature or that you don't learn from your experiences, but you're always what you are.
Why now, Emmy? 15, 16 years. No one's seen eye to hair of you. A lot of people sure don't like you. But now you've shown up. Why now?
Well, what do you know?
Well, I know
We
that
could start there.
you did a bad thing. You tried to kill a very powerful man.
Emmy will run and climb up the ladder and go down the slide.
You hear her footsteps, little tiny footsteps up the plastic or up the metal stairs before you hear a little tush hit the plastic and she slides down the stairs, maybe even giggling along the way.
Well, sometimes you gotta get rid of people.
I
I hear the
kinda.
loud ones have done plenty of that.
About us, I guess.
We were kind of forced to get rid of a lot of those.
Maybe I was forced.
Really, who forced your hand?
She pushes her little lamb chop up against her chin and kind of rests her head.
Well, you know what it's like when you're on a board and they have questions and concerns and thoughts, and everyone wants everyone to do just exactly as you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's stability in a functioning system.
I know, but at the time I didn't like it, and now I wish I could have it back. I understand now.
Yeah, that's remorse and regret.
Well, kind of. I mean, I don't regret what I did, but I regret that I didn't understand.
You tried making amends?
I can't even go around. People
You-
find out I'm here. Bad things will happen to me.
I mean,
Ollie,
they
you
know
would,
you're
you'd be the one
you're
to
in
know.
Chicago.
Ollie, you would be the one to know when it comes to Emmy having dealt with the Ventru so much. She's essentially, she's lucky she's alive in terms of that. Like her self-exile and disappearance is the only thing that kept her alive. The board wanted her dead, and at this point, they might still want her dead, but it's been so long, you're not sure. But there's no easy coming back to the Ventru board after you've betrayed them. It was a play for Prince. Multiple people were playing for it, and she saw an opening. Not for princedom, but for potential opening on the board seat that she wanted.
And that's Emmy wanted that.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
What would you even done without power?
I don't know.
You know, they tend to stick around for a long time, and they have a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, and at first I didn't like responsibility, but now I realize that responsibility is kind of cool.
Not really the word that I would use for it. It's more of a pain in the ass, but that's fine. If you like responsibility, then you can take it. Why don't you go to another city then? If you know that you're not wanted here in Chicago, what's here?
Well, like I said, by cool, I mean that I get to be safe. I don't have to worry. I have a cover. Here I have to constantly worry about being a little kid and running around as if, you know.
Yeah.
It is true. If she was in at least within the Camarilla again, there would potentially be the ability to have true safety. If she has the influence, I mean, Ava has a room in the Ivory Tower. Having a room in the Ivory Tower would, no matter your age, be safe.
Be safe.
So then what's the point of the cold call then?
Well,
She smiles and grins at you and squeezes her lamb chops.
Takes a step back.
Ava, you get off the
Shudders.
swing.
Ava shudders a little bit.
He holds it out and looks at her lamb chop and kind of sways it and then puts it back in her arms.
well, Landchops and I were hoping that maybe we could all be friends.
Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Why the sudden need for friendship with the loud ones?
Well, I think you can put two and two together, Miss Ava.
I'm not very good at math. Enlighten me.
All right. Well, you all are friends with the people that I need to be friends with again. Maybe you could put in a good word for this little kid.
You mean the Ventru?
The Ventru? You want to be back in
Yeah.
your little Ventru circle with all the blue bloods.
Yeah,
Look, I don't know if the Royals are going to take you back.
I know. But if I had the loud ones support, maybe they would let me.
Look, it's going to be a lot more than having the loud ones support.
Like what?
Well, one of those board spots belongs to Ballard, the guy you tried to kill. Another one of those board spots belongs to one of his pensioning lackeys.
Yeah, but they all have to follow rules too.
Then why don't you catch them up on that? If everybody trips upon rules, I'm sure you can work them the same way that they're not afraid to work you.
Well, I have to get in first.
Okay, so what? You looking for a meeting with who, Jackson?
That would be helpful. I know that you guys are friends, and he's very picky about who his friends are.
He is very picky. The problem is, Emmy, he
He
thinks you're
probably
fucking
can only
psycho.
count them on his hands. That's probably how he does it. He's like, if I don't have enough fingers for it, I can't have them as a friend.
Emmy, he
Maybe I
thinks
should
you're
make that my rule.
Emmy, he thinks you're a loose end.
If you met with him, he'd probably kill you.
Or he would try to manipulate you and use you in such a way. And if you're cool with that,
I don't want to die.
I personally have no feelings in your death right now.
I know you're grumpy about the whole situation, but I told you that wasn't personal.
You said you like responsibility.
I mean,
Here we go.
I like it more now.
Okay, well, there's responsibility for the actions that you chose to avoid, that you chose not to
Okay.
take.
Then what do you want me to do?
I want right now from you an honest to God, absolutely sincere apology.
All right.
She takes her little lamb chop and puts it on the swing where she was sitting before.
Its legs
Sorry, lamb
limp over the
chops.
side.
This has to be serious.
And then she goes and stands back in front of you.
Look, I'm really sorry. Like I said, I just needed an in. I needed someone to keep an eye on him. And she was the one. I didn't know they were going to fall in love. But should I really have to apologize for them falling in love and having a kid? I think that part's the sad part. I will apologize. Maybe I should have stopped it. I'm sorry.
You should have stopped it. You should have. Because you knew my mom was getting hit. You knew that he hit her, that he beat her. You knew
I
that
didn't know that part.
your blood was in her. That means that your blood is in me.
Well, didn't know it to start. That's not how it started.
Never starts that way. Stories don't start that way.
She kept saying she was all right. I guess she loved him, and even though he was doing that to her.
Love
Maybe
makes
I
you do
should've
stupid
just-
things. But let me ask you this. Did you know that the Lasombra was shorting him on blood?
Did I know that?
No.
Okay. I was like, I don't think I do.
No.
He was deliberately shorting him on blood. And it was making my dad crazy.
So maybe that's what was making him do all the things. Maybe that's why she was okay with him hurting her. She knew why, but she didn't tell me.
Did she know that he was a ghoul?
Yeah.
Or no?
All up to you.
Yeah. She
And she
knew
still
what her
stayed.
mission was. Look,
She goes back over and picks up lamb chops.
I try my best to make sure that everyone's okay with what's happening. It's not like I forced them, even though I probably could have forced a lot of people to do a lot of things. I mean, I have, but I don't usually try to resort to that.
How many other kindred do you regularly deal with?
Well-
A reminder. Do you need a reminder? Because we talked about it, but we talked about it a lot.
Yeah, I think I got it,
Okay.
but you can let me know if I'm
Nope,
wrong.
you're good. Go for it.
Well, I can give you a lot of support from Gary, Indiana, and a lot of Southern Chicago. I know a lot of people. Just not the people that I need to know in order to help me.
And are none of the
With
others
this
trying
one
to help you out?
particular problem, that is.
Are none of those others, those friends of yours and Gary, are they not trying to help you out either?
Well, they're trying, but they can't really. That's not really their thing. They got too many things to worry about when Gary. But if there's something that you need help with, that you need a few extra hands, they probably get you those.
Canonically, you both would know that Gary, Indiana is missing leadership as of the moment, and things are chaotic.
Well, for starters, you made a fairly compelling apology. But you're not out of hot water yet. You're going to have to make it up. And that's just with me. Who knows what Dakota and Ava want?
Well, what else would you want? What do you want?
I don't know right now. At least for me, I'm not sure.
I honestly think it's going to be very, very difficult to try to convince the Ventru to let you back in, Emmy. They are. You think Toreador can hold a grudge? Ventru can too.
I know.
But with the Ventru, at least I imagine the way Emmy looks at it, being one herself, while the Toreador are extremely petty, if you can prove to the Ventru you're more valuable to them, despite their hatred, then there's a way in regardless. As her time on the board initially, Emmy was utterly disrespected at every turn. Not a single moment of her words were ever held with any weight.
Do you even want to be back with them? Or is that just something like you feel like you want to have because you feel some sort of like, look, for a while I was excommunicated from my clan. I didn't have friends in the Toreador. And you know what? Now that I'm in it, I don't feel like it makes me feel any more complete, you know?
But how did it feel when you weren't part of it?
It felt pretty bad. It did.
Yeah. Now imagine that, except for you're kicked out of the entire place that you've lived your whole entire life, that you've watched grow from being a bunch of farmland until these big, big city buildings.
But you can make something new for yourself. That I've made a new family. I lost my brother and my father and all of my family. But I have Ollie and Dakota, and I've made a new family.
Well,
don't
maybe
know.
I need an Ollie and Dakota.
Yeah, you need a coterie. Do you even have one?
No. Kind of lonely.
I mean, you have all these lovely people who are watching us.
Yeah. And they all, well, we share the same things that we need and want. But it's not the same. You know.
Well, I
Mama
think
Ava's like
this is
uterus
not the
aching.
child I want. Okay, I want my other children, not an actual child. I want to go back to Celia, please. Thanks. Emmy's too scary. So, look, I'm at least willing to see what we can do to help, but again, the Ventru are not. It's going to involve a lot of sway. This is something that's like in that like what they call, in our exchange, major boon territory, because like this is kind of a big thing.
I think that some of the Ventru would be very upset if they discovered that I was talking with you and I didn't take the opportunity to diablerize you.
Well,
There is something that-
escalated quickly.
There is something that would come to Ollie's mind briefly. I don't know if you mentioned it. He may not. But while the Ventru board is full, certainly one is looking to leave permanently and ascend. To the princedom, of course. And if all wishes and plans come to pass, the word of the prince would carry much more weight. But that does mean getting Jackson to see past the past.
Man.
The best I can do.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to put that out. You would think of that because you're very much in contact with them quite often.
Best I can do is try to get you a conversation with our contacts, Mr. Jackson.
Well, I guess that's a good start. But he's gonna be kind of grumpy.
I don't think he's going to be as grumpy as Ballard. I'm almost certain that Ballard wouldn't even want to see you.
You don't have a good history with Ballard, particularly, Emmy.
Given
No.
that you tried to assassinate him and all that.
Yeah,
He understands it's business.
he might.
If I were to get a word into him, you'd have to meet on his terms. You'd have to leave a lot of your people behind, and you realize that it could be a risk to your own life. But I think he's the only one that I would even remotely bother trying to meet.
Zava.
Again, it would require a little something on our end. We get to make this an official kindred exchange here in, a boon maybe from you, Emmy. You can help us with something when we need your help.
Am I allowed to give them a boon of some sort?
Absolutely,
Okay.
you're welcome to.
Well, I guess if this goes well and I don't get eaten by anybody, then I can give you a boon.
A life boon.
That's a
Life
tall
boon.
ask.
A life boon.
Let's go. Look, might as well go for the best.
You
I
know,
think
This is
as
there's
what
you
gonna
I
say
need
mean.
some,
that, the
be some
camera
rolls there
This is what
for
I
a
mean.
life boon.
This is what I mean by need more than a sorry.
you don't have to make rolls if Emmy wouldn't take that. She just wouldn't take that. It's fine. But
Okay.
when he says life boon, that camera like snap zooms backward, and we get a nice profile shot as the swing set kind of just stops, and they look at each other for a good few moments.
I think Emmy kind of grins a little bit and says,
You guys play a hard bargain.
What do you say, Grandma?
Well, I guess you are part of my blood. Here's the thing. I'm going to need more than just a little talk. I'm going to need your support. Beyond that. And you can have a life boon.
What kind of support?
Well, there's probably going to be some more things along the way and steps before I get into the board again. And of course, I'll help you. You help me. It's like those little monkeys that take bugs off each other's backs. Like that.
Yeah.
This
I'll
is
eat
an
your
agreement
bugs
between
if you
us.
eat my bugs.
We can't report this at the tower. No matter how you shake it, Chicago doesn't want an 8-year-old that's a kindred. This is the biggest red flag. We stake our reputation, our name, and everything that we've built over the last almost 2 decades. So yeah, I'll scratch your back. But I hope you're real good at scratching, because you're going to be scratching ours for a minute.
It's fair.
and she will hold out her hand and she'll hold out her lamb chop's hand.
I'll shake the lamb chop's hand. I'll
shake
shake
hers.
her.
The camera is a snap zooms in as you reach, and we see this large boxer adult-sized man's hand gently grasp this small 7 or 8-year-old's tiny hand. And with a solid shake on both sides and a giggle, I'm sure, a deal is struck. Your support for Emmy, including getting her contact with Mr. Jackson, which means plenty of times where your names will go on the line. But in return, a true life boon, her help at your fingertips as needed, so long as it's something she can actually produce. Few seconds pass as the true understanding of the deal settles in to all of you. Does the conversation end there?
I look over to Dakota as that shake.
Dakota is not
swings.
here.
Or, I mean, Ava. And as soon as I see Ava's eyes, Dakota's not going to like this.
You know, usually when you're gone and I'm with Dakota, you come back to some sort of shocking news that now we get to be the ones to deliver the shocking news to Dakota.
Does this mean I get to meet Dakota soon?
She's been really grumpy lately.
You
Oh,
wouldn't want to meet her this week. I could tell you that much.
well, maybe I can make her less grumpy. Look, Ollie was grumpy when he first got here. He doesn't look so grumpy now. I think he needs a little swinging.
You need a much bigger swing.
Well, maybe Ava and I could push you.
Oh, this will be fun. Ollie goes and sits down on the swing.
You actually hear the swing set creak as Ollie's large. Again, boxers are huge dudes, dude. Now he sits down, you hear it creak. The two of them get behind. Do you stick your legs out? So there's no drag?
I think she says that. She says,
Stick your legs out.
Yeah, he does.
And Ava and Emmy, staggered shortest to tallest, both start pushing Ollie. And it takes a bit. First one's just like an inch or two. Second one, you both put some more effort into it, and you hear a large creak as it sways back, and you can actually see the swing set's foundation lift ever so gently as he swings backward, come out of the ground. But you manage. And
Can I just
Ollie, for the
point
first time
something
in
out?
God knows how long, you're being pushed on a swing set.
It's not just Ollie being pushed on a swing set. It's a gigantic Nosferatu being pushed by a Toreador and a Ventru in a park at like 3 a.m. Oh,
Look,
man.
he's just my grandchild, okay?
Oh my god. I can't get over that.
And so the camera slowly pans back as we watch Ollie actually swinging and maybe enjoying himself, maybe just enduring it. I don't know. But I feel that's a great place where we can fade out on this guest episode and bring us to black. Emmy, we'll be
Aw.
seeing you again.
Ah!
And it sounds like
Yay!
multiple times, unless there's something goes south in terms of like deals, but not the outcome I was expecting, and I'm very happy about that. I
Look,
thought
me and you both weren't sure
Yeah,
where this
yeah.
was gonna go.
my best case, I thought, and we'll talk about this in the after show, obviously, but my best case was like you just walk away from each other and just nothing
my.
really happens. Worst case,
Somebody dies.
multiple people die. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure, but it's been so long since I've seen the Emmy character played that I just forget how fucking great she is. I love that character so much.
This is one of
So,
my favorites. It's so fun.
there we go. That's going to be it. We'll have actually Dot back next week so we can continue kind of where the main plot left off. We got some more news for Dot when she comes back now. I'm very excited to see that, how she reacts to that. And we will be seeing Maggie again, I think, sooner rather than later, as there's a bunch of conversations that need to be had. We'll go around, everybody tell you where you can find each other, and after that, we're off to go do an after show. We'll start with Tracy. Tracy, where can people get you?
Hey everybody. You can find me at everywhere, Miss Match Tech, all of the socials and things. But also twitch.tv/MagicRPG, where I play games with my friends. We have like 5 shows this going on right now this
That's
month.
awesome.
It's wild. It'll be only a temporary thing, including my first BTM
Hey!
game ever.
You're going to crush it. I have no
I'm
doubt.
so scared. That's this Monday, everybody. So if you want to watch me storytell a Ventru, Toreador, Tremere, and who's our fourth? Ventru, Toreador, Tremere, and
Malkavian?
Malkavian. Feel free to tune into that. And then guest Nosferatu. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
That's awesome. You got to keep me updated on how that story goes and
I
what the
will.
players do. I'm
I
very
might just
eager.
mess it. I'm like, Mathis, I need help.
Oh,
Please.
yeah, I'm always open. I'll be right here to tell you.
Yeah.
All right, Bub, what about you, man? Where can people find you?
Just look all over the place for Bub Talks. If you Google or go to Twitch, you can find me there. I'm trying to do a lot of new stuff. Hopefully some cool things popping off in May. Maybe some things with Tracy as well. We'll see how that looks. And there's a good chance that I get to kick off my sequel to Haunting of Harrowstone. It's called The Trial of the Beast. It's a very Monster of the Week Pathfinder-esque experience, and I'm very excited for that. That's
awesome.
me, though.
All right, fantastic. And obviously our wonderful guest, Maggie, who obviously you know from Roll For It, but where can people find you, Maggie?
Hey, I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I do lots of things on the internet. Sometimes playing child vampires, if you just follow me, I'll let you know whenever I'm live. I'm part of a lot of different projects, and I'm sure there's going to be some more coming up. I would love to play Oz again in Bub's campaign. But of course, if you follow me, I'll let you know whenever I'm live on those things. And I'm also making games and video games for a living. I'm currently working on a project called Ashes of Creation, which you can find at Ashes of Creation in all of the places. That's me.
Fantastic.
What about you, Mathis?
My YouTube channel changed. I changed my actual link. You could just now go to youtube.com/ and YouTube uses @ now, which is like, when did that happen?
Yeah, I know.
/
It's
at
weird.
Chilluminati Pod. A surprise. I rebranded to the thing that I'm doing the most on that channel. So you can find me at Chilluminati or Chilluminati Podcast pretty much everywhere. Right here every Saturday doing SOS Season 3. And of course, our Pod by Night stuff, which you can find on all podcast platforms or the YouTube channel for that, which includes our main show right now, which is Cracked Crown, and our ancillary shows that we've run so far, like Desperate Measures, which was the 4-episode Hunter, and Scot Free, which was a 4-episode Anarch take as to what's going on in the world. We got big things planned for that stuff, so please tune in. If you want more of us playing Vampire, that's where you can get it. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much. And Maggie, thank you so much again for coming by.
Yay, thanks, Maggie.
Yay.
Yay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
We're friends.
Yay.